We move on and let's get your portfolio queries solved by Gautam Kalia, Senior Vice President, Head Super Investor at Sharekhan by BNP Paribas. Gautam, good evening. Thank you so much for being on the show today. And we have our first question for you, which is from Rajiv Gupta. And he has started SIPs in HDFC Dividend Yield Fund, ICICI Proof Focused Equity Fund, SBI Small Cap. He wants you to review his portfolio. We don't have all the details with us, but then how can you help, Gautam?
Thanks. So, Rajiv, the answers for you. I don't have any other details of your portfolio. I don't know your investment horizon or how old you are and what are your financial goals. So, very basic input I can give is that your existing investments seem fine. The schemes you have are good. Don't need to make any changes there. But you don't have any allocation to large caps or mid caps specifically to schemes. So if you have a long term horizon, if it's more than 5 years, and you're comfortable taking the risks, then you should consider investing in large cap like a Kotak Blue Chip Fund and a mid cap scheme like a Mire Asset Mid Cap Fund. So that will essentially end up helping you complete your portfolio and make it a robust core portfolio.
All right, we move on to our next question, which is from Jayant Banerjee, and he wants to invest 20 lakhs for his retirement. Of his retirement corpus, and he wants his money to grow, and he can take moderate risk. Now, we really have no idea whether he wants regular income from this particular retirement corpus, but how should he go about, and what should be the investment strategy, considering if he wants a regular income from this investment?
Kavita, so actually because the question was worded for growth, so I naturally assume that he's made other arrangements for regular income. But I'll still
In both the
suggest
scenarios, Gautam.
the names of the schemes that we think he can consider.
Mm-hmm.
We are thinking of like a 70-30% allocation where 30% is in pure equity and 70% is in a combination of hybrid and debt schemes. So maybe about 30% allocation comprising Kotak Blue Chip Fund, HDFC Large and Mid Cap Fund, and the SBI Flexi Cap Fund. For the hybrid and debt allocation, the ICICI Prudential Balanced Advantage Fund, ICICI Prudential All Seasons Bond Fund, HDFC Short Term Debt Fund, and the Bandhan CRISIL IBX Gilt June 2027 Index Fund. So these, which is a target maturity fund. So this allocation here he can make between these schemes. Obviously, the more defensive he wishes to play, the more allocation he should make to the debt funds. And the more aggressive he's comfortable with, he should increase his allocation, maybe instead of 30 to 40 or 50% to the equity thing. All schemes have a dividend payout option as well as a growth option, barring the target maturity fund. So on the debt side, maybe not go for the dividend payout and go for growth, while on the equity and hybrid, go for the dividend payout if you want the portfolio also to generate some income for you.
All right, which is why, we always ask our viewers to be on the phone line with us, so that it's better if at all they have any doubts, they can directly ask the expert. But in any case, we just hope that Jayant got what he needed. We move on. Gautam, we have Samvit's question for you. He says that he's 28 years old. He has invested through mutual funds in PPFS Flexi Cap, PGI Mid Cap, and Axis Small Cap. Now, he wants to have debt allocation for liquidity. Very interesting question, but again, we don't have this caller on the phone line. But let's talk about his fund mix. He has a Flexi Cap, Mid Cap, and a Small Cap. Very aggressive, or is it right at this age?
For a 28-year-old, I'm quite impressed. I didn't know anything. I was in the same field, but I didn't know enough to, I guess, manage my finances as well as he's doing. So it's a fantastic step that he's taken. I think the fund schemes are all right. Then nothing to change there, and that becomes his long-term exposure to equity. He can continue to review that. For the debt allocation, he is asking for liquidity. Obviously, when you're looking at debt and you're looking at liquidity, then you have to play at the short end of the yield curve, especially now with interest rates continuing to rise. Maybe they'll taper off in a few months, but we can't be sure. So it's better anyway to stay at the short end of the yield curve rather than take on more risk in your portfolio. And especially since the requirement is also for liquidity, he can go for HDFC Ultra Short Term Fund and the SBI Magnum Ultra Short Duration Fund. So that way, it kind of meets his emergency fund requirement.
We have next question from Himanshu, and he wants to diversify into gold now. So he's currently investing 15,000 in large and a multi-cap fund, and now he wants to add a gold fund. Will a gold fund be the right way to have gold in your portfolio, or you think you should prefer a sovereign gold bond?
Yeah, so sovereign gold bond makes sense, and actually it's a very topical question because gold's rallied internationally by 11% in the last 7 days. So extremely topical question. Gold definitely you should have about 10 to 15% allocation in your portfolio over the long term, and sovereign gold bonds, depending on as and when they're issued, they're typically issued now. We just had one issuance, so they're typically issued in JFM, and that's something that you can participate in. Besides sovereign gold bonds, obviously, you can look at investing in gold through either exchange traded funds or mutual funds. So, mutual funds, I can suggest a couple of names. One is the ICICI Prudential Regular Gold Savings Fund, and the other is the SBI Gold Fund. So these two funds definitely Himanshu can look at to allocate maybe 1,500, 2,000 rupees a month uh, uh, in line with this 10% allocation to the overall portfolio.
All right, I think that's all we have from the viewers and their queries. Gautam, thank you so much for being on the show and helping our viewers with their financial portfolio. But before I sign off, today marks the start of a very auspicious season for all Indians as the harvest season kicks off from Gudi Padwa in Maharashtra and Goa to Ugadi in the southern states like Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and Karnataka, and Navratra in North India. Here's hoping we all have a fruitful year ahead, and here are some celebration visuals from across the nation.